My title today is We Are Overcomers by God's Grace. We go through things daily. We go through mountains and valleys. We go through rough storms. We go through fire. We walk through darkness. We go through a tunnel that seems to have no end. And finally, we arrive at the top of the mountain. We survive the storm. We aren't burned. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We all have giants in our lives. It reminds me of the story of David and Goliath from 1 Samuel 17 in the Bible. I will summarize this story. There was a war between Philistine and the Israelites with King Saul. Goliath was a Philistine, and he challenged the Israelites. He told them to send a champion to fight against him in one-on-one combat. He was a very tall giant, and he challenged the Israelites for 40 days in a row. He mocked them, and he mocked their God, because they were all too cowardly to fight him. The Israelites were afraid of him and didn't know what to do. Three of David's older brothers were in the Israelite army. And David was home caring for his father's sheep. One day, David's father sent him to the battlefield to deliver food to his brothers. And while he was at the battlefield, David heard Goliath's challenge, and he saw the fear in the eyes of the Israelite soldiers. David spoke to King Saul and told him that he would kill Goliath. Saul dismissed David because he was a youth. But David insisted, telling Saul how he had killed lions and bears in order to protect his father's sheep. David said to Saul, "Your servant has struck down lions and bears. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be like one of them, for he has defied the armies of the living God." Saul eventually agreed to let David fight. Saul gave David heavy armor, but he couldn't walk in it. David decided to wear his own gear, his own clothing, and got a sling with 5 smooth stones. David saw Goliath coming towards him, and he said, "Am I a dog? Do you come at me with sticks?" David responded, You come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. As Goliath moved toward David, David charged him, loaded a stone into his sling, and launched it at Goliath's forehead. Goliath fell face down, and David took Goliath's sword and cut off his head. The soldiers in the Philistine camp scattered, and the Israelites chased them back to their own cities. This passage demonstrates the power of faith and the might of God working through those who trust in Him. The seemingly impossible is made possible, but not by human strength, but by faith in God. It's an enduring reminder. God often uses what is least expected to carry out His purposes. And the Goliaths or the giants in our lives can be overcome through our faith in God. We must have faith in God that we have power, strength, and wisdom, and everything we need to overcome. We often lose our confidence when we face challenges. We must surrender our struggles to God and trust Him to lead us through whatever we are facing. Let God lead you. Sometimes I feel like, why do I experience hard times? I prefer an easy life. However, we must push our feelings aside and seek God. We must come before Him with humility and be honest with Him. In every situation, God has a purpose for everything that is happening, that He wants us to learn about Him and His goodness. As a result, we grow in grace in our new life, and we become closer to Jesus. Remember, we are not alone. God is fighting for us. Not only is He fighting for us, He is also fighting for our loved ones, our friends, and our family. He doesn't give up on anyone. To wrap up, Romans chapter 8, verses 37 through 39 say, not only will we endure, but we will be more than conquerors. Thank you.